guys, and welcome to this week's vlog. We are here with Ben.
The nutrition guru.
No, he doesn't like that word.
He loves it.
He doesn't like that word. But Ben is going to give you all some general advice on nutrition for those starting out in triathlon. So
Yeah.
Ben, over to you.
So you if you're going to be doing triathlon, you're going to be you're going to have a training regime. So you want to set up your macronutrients and energy requirements for that training. So there's a concept where it's fueling for the training. So that means you're eating the right amount of carbohydrates based on how much you're training, the amount you're training, so how many hours a week that you're training. There's a calculator to sort of work that out, which I've got one. So
Yeah, he's put it together.
in terms of carbohydrates, protein, fats, all that sort of stuff.
So when we're talking macros, we're talking
So macronutrients are the big nutrients that we talk about: protein, fat, carbohydrates. Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals.
Yeah.
Fiber's a macronutrient as well.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a carbohydrate. So yeah, you want to set those up first. You want to have your energy needs, and carbohydrate needs to be sort of specific on your training, and it can be specific on your goals in training. You might actually want to be losing weight for an event.
Yeah.
So then that will dictate how much calories you need to consume on a daily basis as well. In terms of like types of foods and stuff, you generally want to just follow a healthy, balanced diet, because you want to be healthy. If you're healthy, your performance is going to be high.
So that's an interesting point to expand on. What is a healthy, balanced diet from your perspective? As someone that understands this.
I would say moderate protein, low saturated fat, and then carbohydrates are based off your activity needs. That's basically it. In terms of macronutrients, and obviously saturated fat it's part of a macronutrient. But in terms of like micronutrients and vitamins and minerals, you want to be adequate in all of them, and all of them have a recommended daily allowance for each one.
Okay.
So you just want to try and meet every single one of them the best you can, basically.
Okay.
In terms of like sugar intake and stuff like that, that is a problem if you're eating beyond your needs.
Okay.
So you can get away with quite a lot of sort of junk food and sugar as long as you're not going above your energy requirement.
Okay. I
always follow the sort of 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
So 80% your diet's all nice and perfect, all whole foods, fruit and vegetables and everything. Then 20% you can have your treats, you can have like sweets and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is providing you're not eating at a calorie surplus. If you're eating at a calorie surplus, then having 20%, I'd probably reduce down to 5% of junk
so
food.
we've got a few members that I know will be watching this thinking, great, I can eat McFlurry now.
I can eat cake on a week. Yeah.
But what you're saying is you can if you're training to kind of allow you to do that.
Yeah, if you're eating beyond your needs, the recommendation saying you can have your treats and junk food, I wouldn't suggest that. It's when your diet's on point and say you're eating at maintenance calories and your weight is stable, you can have that 20% of your diet, have a little treat or whatever, because it's not going to cause much of an issue. Like having high sugar, you're going to have high sugar when you're training for endurance sports.
Yeah.
But as long as you're not going beyond what you use, it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And going back to an interesting point about the carbohydrates, so the level that a person needs should be based on what they're doing rather than this is how much everyone should be eating for carbohydrates.
Yeah, so it will be based off your body weight, and it will be based off how much your activity level.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to consume too much carbohydrates so there's going to be a level of carbohydrates you consume that optimises your performance in training each week. Anything above that's pointless. It's all wasted. Anything below that, your performance drops.
Okay.
So you need to find this sort of.
And your calculator. Put together will kind of give you guidelines.
Yeah. So it goes from like 3 grams per kilogram all the way up to 12 grams per kilogram, and that's dependent on kilogram of body weight, and that's dependent on the duration of exercise a day. So if you train like an hour on a Monday and an hour on Tuesday, you take the total for the week of your training, you add it all together, you divide by 7, and that'll give you a daily, because it's averaged out, and then that's how you work it out. Because obviously you don't train a certain amount every day, you'll have rest days.
Yeah.
So add it all up for the week, divide by 7, and then that's how you can set your carbohydrate levels.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I know your thoughts on certain high streets banging out products for a lot of money. The thing that is really interesting is the kind of micronutrients. So how important is it? You know, like we said, we've got vitamins A to Z, blah blah blah, lots of extra stuff. You know, zinc, magnesium, potassium, all of that stuff. There's levels for it, but how important is it to be hitting 100% of your daily amount of those?
It's
those
not like you have to hit it daily. It's more if you average it out over, like, so one day you might not get enough zinc or something, or another day you won't get enough iodine. As long as you're sort of on average over the week, you're getting close 80 to 90% of these RDAs that are recommended by the government. Your diet, your health is going to be better than 90% of the people in the world, because no one really meets them that well at all. So it's just eating a balanced diet, and if you're eating for endurance training, the level of food you can be consuming is really high, so it's going to be quite hard for you to actually be deficient in anything. Stuff like vitamin D, I would supplement possibly, because it's quite hard to get in just from diet. That's one that I always take, regardless. If you don't consume any fish, then I'd suggest omega-3 fish oils. That's better. It's good for recovery as well. But yeah, in terms of like, as long as you eat a balanced diet, you're all good. But just vitamin D, I'd maybe supplement, and that's about it really.
So just to go back, so we shared an article during the week. So Johnny Brownlee or Alistair, I can't remember which one of the Brownlee brothers. So they eat pie and chips, like fish and chips, and we had a couple of athletes that said, "Oh, okay, if the Brownlee brothers eat junk food, we can eat junk food." But I think that comes back to the rest of their diet during the week.
They're not going to be just eating all the time.
You're getting a snapshot of one meal. It's like, I don't like people demonising junk food and like bad meals here and there, because it's fine as long as you're eating within your means, your energy requirements. You can do this 80-20. This is the 80-20 rule that I usually follow, and it's fine, because you don't want to demonise food and restrict yourself so much, because you'll just go mad having to eat clean all the time.
And it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. I know, I've been a coach and a trainer for a long time, and if you get too militant on what you're eating, at some point you're going to fall off the wagon. And it's just not possible. And also, endurance sport is not a healthy sport. So you get to race day, gels have got a lot of sugar. The sports bars, the performance bars, there's a lot of sugar. There's a lot of sugar because you're doing a lot of activity. But there's no point saying, well, I'm not going to eat any sugar, because then when it comes to race day, unless you're a fat adapted athlete, you're going to struggle to kind of feel off.
That's another topic.
Oh, we're wrapping up another topic. Well, we'll be talking about that on another video for sure. So keeping it for the sort of beginners, what are the kind of good habits to get into? So when you're training, what are the good things to follow from your point?
Just from a starting point, the recommendations that the government recommends eat 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. These are like the basic stuff.
No.
And if you've got a healthy diet, your performance is going to be higher.
Okay.
So just have a balanced diet, follow the macronutrient recommendations that I've got in the calculator, and just try and just get this full spectrum of micronutrients from as many foods that you enjoy as possible.
Yeah.
And then use supplements to fill in the areas that maybe you don't like a certain food, or I mean, this is where dietary analysis can come in. You can analyse where the holes are, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's something you can think about later, but
Yeah.
just get a balanced diet, whole foods, everything,
Yeah.
and that's going to be better for performance later.
Definitely. There you go. So I hope that has been useful. We've probably learned a couple of useful bits out of that,
Yeah.
haven't we? Check out some of Ben's other videos. Obviously members can get it. If you're not a member, then sign up, and then you can see all the good content about all the stuff we're going to talk about. And yeah, we'll speak to you guys soon. Take care.